Jai Shishi Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupar Ashtottara Shata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj Shila Guru Dev Ki Jai Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupar Ashtottara Shata Shishimar Shila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Shila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatara Shatashmar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatara Shatashmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosai Prabhupada Ki Jai Nityalala Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Shilagorksharas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalala Pravishta Shila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Nityalala Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Shila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Rupa Nuparya Guru Varga Ki Jai Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhattadas Raghunath Shar Gosai Prabhu Ki Jai Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai Namachay Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai प्रेम से को श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल व्रज मंडल मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदात गिरिराज महाराज की जय श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जय श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय श्री भक्ति देवी की जय श्री पूर्णमासी योगमाया की जय श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. I'm just looking at the calendar. Oh, today is a disappearance day of Srila Lochan Das Thakur. So, Sri Lochan Das Thakur ki jai. Today Shubha Tiruva Titi ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams, everybody. Let's see who is here. Shri Devi Didi, Sarveshwari Mataji, Gokuleshwari Didi, Nitai Mukeshji, and Nri Hari Prabhu and Bhavatarani Mataji. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams. And let's see, on YouTube and Facebook, Pradyumna Prabhu, Mantramurti Mataji, Ganga Mataji. I'm not sure who else is there, Indira Mataji, Raseshwari Mataji. And yeah, and all the devotees watching in the future. Oh, Premavati Didi, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams. Yeah, sorry I'm starting so late. Something was wrong with the microphone on Zoom. Like it said my microphone. So now I'm using headphones. Um, yeah, hopefully I'll be able to hear everybody. But so today we will go over the next two lines of this first verse of Daśa-mūla Tattva. And also, I thought it might be nice to read about the topic of Pramāṇa. I have something in Madhurya Kadambini. I haven't read it yet. I only read it like years ago. But anyways, I mean, really, you've kind of noticed, right? All these study sessions that I do, it's kind of like I'm trying to learn everything as well. I'm not really teaching it. I'm just like whatever I want to learn. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna learn this online publicly. So yeah, that's what these sessions are like. If I had time, if I wasn't in the middle of working on the songbook and like a bunch of things going on, then I would be able to do nice preparation and actually like give a proper class. But with my current situation, like the current responsibilities and everything, all I can do is a public, like my making my personal study public. So yeah, you have to bear with me. Um, okay, I think I'm just gonna do Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Pranam mantra and then we'll start. So Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate. Jai Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Jai. And we should do Mahaprabhu as well. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tvishe Namaha. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. All right. So first we'll go over the introduction verse of Daśa-mūla Tattva. Um, I'll show it to you like this, in this view. This is the meter Sragdhara. And remember yesterday I was mentioning what is considered guru syllables, that's the long syllables, and the lagu syllables, which are the short syllables. And so this meter, the name of this meter is called Sragdhara, and it starts with 4 guru syllables, 4 long syllables, then 1 short syllable, 1 lagu syllable, then 2 um, long syllables, and then there's a pause. And then how many is that? 6 short syllables, then 1 long syllable. So it's like this. Can you see it nicely? Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So na 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 na. Oops. Sorry. Wait. Let me do it with the keyboard. That would be better. Na 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 na. Pause. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. See that? So I'm going slow here. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Like that. So I made all the guru syllables green and all the lagu syllables blue. So we'll recite it and then I'll explain the meaning of it briefly. Sorry. Āmnāya-vākya hari-miha paramāṃ sarva-shaktiṃ rasabdhiṃ tad bhinnaṃ-shanṣcha jīvān prakriti-kavalitān tad vimuktaṃ-scha bhāvār bheda-bheda-prakāśa sakalam-api hare sadhanam shuddha bhaktiṃ sadyam tat priti-me-vedyupadishati janan Gaurachandra Swayam Sa. So let's go over the meaning. Where is it? There you go. So this is the introduction verse to Daśa-mūla. First is āmnāya-praha or āmnāya-vākya. Āmnāya-praha, āmnāya-vākya, that refers to the teachings received through the Vedas, and that is the means for knowledge. Any knowledge coming, that is āmnāya-vākya, we consider to be true evidence. You know, that is what establishes the truth for us. So this āmnāya-vākya, these teachings of the Vedas received through the Guru Parampara, establish the following 9 objects of that knowledge, which is called prameya. Prameya is the object of valid knowledge. So the prameyas are, the first three are related to Hari. It's on this first line of this verse. The second group of three are related to the jivas. It's on the second line of this verse. And then it talks about beta beta prakash. Sorry, beta beta. Yeah, achinta beta beta tattva. That's this on the third line. And then the means to the goal, which is Shuddha Bhakti, and the goal, which is Prem, Krishna Prem. And really, we were reading recently that the means and the goal are actually the same. Because Shuddha Bhakti is the means, Prem is the goal, but Shuddha Bhakti is Prem also, really. Like there's Shuddha Bhakti means Prem Bhakti. So let's let's look at this a little bit more closely now. We see first line related to Hari, second line related to the jivas, then third line achinta beta beta prakash, achinta beta beta tattva, and our sadhan Shuddha Bhakti, and the last line is our sadhya prem. That's basic breakdown of the verse. Now, the first three related to Hari, the first three prameyas, is that Śrī Hari is the Parama-tattva. He is the supreme absolute truth. And he is sarva shaktiman, or here it says sarva shaktim. That means he's the possessor of all potencies. And he is rasa sindhu, or rasabdhim. He is an ocean of ras. And now the three related to the jivas. The jivas are tad, his, bhina, separated, angsha, parts. Tad bhinangshangscha jivan. Those jivas are divided into two. They are either baddha or mukta. They are baddha, which means that they are prakriti kavalitan, they are swallowed by the material energy, or they are mukta. That means they are liberated from tad, from that prakriti, from that maya. Now, everything in existence, sakalam, is a prakash, is a manifestation which is bheda, which is separate, and abheda, not separate. So different and non-different from Śrī Hari. Our sadhana is Shuddha Bhakti, our sadhya is priti. What is it? The means the means to attain the goal is pure devotion, and the goal is love for Krishna. Although love is a very weak word, but yeah. So Gaura Chandra, who is Swayam, who is himself sa, that Śrī Hari, he upadishati, he instructs janan, the people, in this way. Thus. Iti means thus. Okay, so that's a breakdown of the verse. Maybe let's recite it one more time, looking at the Sanskrit. Āmnāya-vākya hari-miha paramāṇ sarva-shaktiṃ rasabdhiṃ tad-bhinnaṃ-shaṃ-cha jivan prakriti-kavalitān tad-vimuktaṃ-cha bhāvād bheda bheda prakasham sakalamapi hare sadhanam shuddha bhaktim sadhyam tat pritimevetupadishati janan Gaurachandra Swayamsa. So now we are on verse 1, which is āmnāya-vākya, the words of the Vedas received through Guru Parampara, āmnāya-vākya. Now, I got this ready in a rush, and I realized I accidentally did it the opposite colors. So this one, blue means the long syllables, and yeah, blue means the long syllables, and green is short syllables, so the opposite of the previous one. Sorry about that. And what is it? So here, let me just, G stands for guru. Okay, so, and then L is for lagu. And those hyphens there, actually, I'll just make this there. Okay, and that's the pause. So this meter is it called shikarini? I think it's called shikarini, but it's short syllable, 5 long syllables, then 5 short syllables, 2 long syllables, 3 short syllables, 1 long syllable. So it's like this. Na 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 na, like that. So let's recite it. Svataḥ-siddho vedo hari-dayita-vedhaḥ-prabhṛtitaḥ pramāṇaṁ sat-prāptaṁ pramiti-viṣayān nava-vidhān tathā pratyakṣādi pramiti-sahitaṁ sādhayati na yuktis tarkākhyā praviśati tathā śakti-rahitā. Okay, so this verse establishes for us what is the means of knowledge. What is Pramāṇa? There are many different means for knowledge that are um, accepted by different types of people. So in Madhurya Kadambini, I just took this excerpt. And I have, as I mentioned, I haven't read this yet myself. So I don't actually know what to read and what not to read. I'm not going to read the whole thing. We'll figure it out though. Let's see. Let me just make this a different font. I like green. Okay. So this is from chapter 1, text 3 of Madhurya Kadambini. This is my Gurudev's commentary. Wait, let me make it bigger. Here. Okay, so Piyush Varshney Vritti by Srila Gurudev Shishimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. The testimony of Shruti, or the Vedas, is certainly the best of all Shabda Praman. That means authoritative means of knowledge revealed through sound. Praman doesn't just mean evidence, but it's the means of gaining true knowledge. So, yeah. To reveal bhakti-tattva, that divine substance of the principle of Godhead that is beyond inert matter, self-manifest, and fully laden with transcendental bliss, Srila Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur, quoting evidence from the revealed scriptures, is expressing the faultless and unerring authority of Shruti, or Shabda Praman, the means of knowledge, which is the Shabda, the transcendental words of Bhagavan, or the Shastras, Shruti. That which helps bring about actual knowledge of an object is known as Pramāṇa. Okay, so what is the definition of Pramāṇa? It is that which helps bring about actual knowledge of an object. And in Sanskrit, actual knowledge, like true, valid knowledge, is called pramiti. Pramiti. It comes twice in this verse. Pramiti means valid knowledge. That which proves the valid knowledge is called that which the means for gaining that knowledge is called Pramāṇa. And then the object of that valid knowledge, the Viṣayān means, or Viṣaya means the object of Pramiti, is called Prameya. Prameya means the object of valid knowledge. So pramiti-viṣayān, the objects of valid knowledge, is also called prameyas. They're synonymous. Srimad Bhagavatam has mentioned 4 types of Pramāṇa. There's the revealed Vedic knowledge, that's āmnāya-vākya, revealed through the Guru Parampara, right? There's direct sense perception, pratyakṣā. There's inference, that's anuman, and the wisdom of tradition. Is that aitihya? I think so. Let's see. So there's this verse in the 11th canto, chapter 19, verse 17. Shruti pratyakṣamai aitihyam anumanam chatushtayam pramānish anavastanad vikalpat savirajyate. Among all kinds of evidence or means of knowledge, 4: revealed Vedic knowledge, Shruti, direct sense perception, pratyakṣa, the wisdom of tradition, aitihya, and inference, anuman, enable a person to give up his attachment to the dualities of material nature. 3 of these 4 kinds of Pramāṇa, namely direct sense perception, inference, and the wisdom of tradition, may be prone to error. However, there is no possibility of error being present in scriptures spoken by Bhagavan. As the origin of such Shrutis is Swayam Bhagavan himself, they are devoid of faults arising from misinterpretation, careless or hasty judgment, deception, ill-equipped senses, and so on. That's why in this verse it says the Vedas are svataḥ-siddha. They are intrinsically, they are already fully established. They're self-evident. They are actually the most. I went through this with Sundar Gopal and Chandrasekhar Prabhu. We came up. Chandrasekhar actually thought of the word self-substantiated. So there's no need for any external validation. They are fully perfect and no need for any external validation. They're true intrinsically, like they're intrinsically, what do you say, established. I don't know how to say it properly, but yeah. But these other forms of Pramāṇa, these other means of gaining true knowledge, they are not svataḥ-siddha. They are not self-substantiated. Why? Because they may be prone to error. There's no possibility of error being present in the scriptures spoken by Bhagavan. As the origin of such Shrutis is Swayam Bhagavan himself, they are devoid of faults arising from misinterpretation. Oh, I just read that. Sorry. The Manusmriti, in the Manusmriti it says, I'm not going to read the Sanskrit, it is absolutely compulsory for anyone who wants to know the principle of Dharma to be conversant in 3 subjects: direct sense perception, that's pratyakṣa, inference, anuman, and the smritis, which are based on the Vedas and various complementary Vedic literatures. From among the 4 kinds of Pramāṇa previously mentioned, Sri Madhvacharya has adopted only 3. Madhvacharya adopts these 3. This is in his Prameya-Ratnavali 9.2. Since the wisdom of tradition passed on by word of mouth exists within the Pramāṇa of direct sense perception, the best of guides, Madhva Muni, has only acknowledged 3 types of Pramāṇa. Among them, revealed Vedic knowledge, apauruṣeya Veda-vākya, the Vedic statements with no mortal origin, is certainly considered the principal form of Pramāṇa. So this is another way of saying āmnāya-vākya, or āmnāya-praha, right? Is apauruṣeya Veda. That means Vedic statements which have no material origin. Apauruṣeya means no human, it's not human. No human wrote it. It's, yeah. Nevertheless, our Gaudiya Vaishnavas have acknowledged 10 types of Pramāṇa. 10 means of gaining true knowledge. Srila Jiva Goswami has said. So this is Srila Jiva Goswami in his Tattva Sandarbha Sarva Samvardini. He says, although 10 types of Pramāṇa are mentioned, here are the 10 types of Pramāṇa. There's pratyakṣa, direct perception; 2, anuman, inference; 3, arsha, statements of the sages; 4, Upaman, comparison. 5. Arthapatti, presumption. 6. Abhav, that means absence. 7. Samphav, probability. 8. Aitihya, hearsay. 9. Cheshta, gesturing. And 10. Shabda, Vedic testimony. So, although these 10 types of praman are mentioned, only Apurusheya Veda, or āmnāya-vākya, is free from the faults of misinterpretation, err from careless or hasty judgment, the tendency to cheat, ill-equipped senses, and so on. Truly, the principal form of evidence is Shabda Praman, in the form of the Vedas. In Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is also said, Pramaner madhye Shruti Praman Pradhan, Shruti je Mukhyartha kohe she Praman. It's from the Madhya Lila 6:135. Among all forms of evidence, the evidence of Shruti is the most prominent. Indeed, the primary, direct meaning of any statement of Shruti is certainly the most essential evidence. We will briefly outline the 10 kinds of praman. So now it goes through these 10 kinds of praman and their weaknesses. And it is already, I want to go through these next 2 lines, so I'm not going to read all this. But if anybody wants, let's just read the first 2, just to get a taste. So pratyaksha, direct perception. Information received by means of the 5 knowledge-acquiring senses, namely the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin, is called pratyaksha praman. It's the means of knowledge through direct perception. Right? Scientists only accept this kind of praman, right? They only accept pratyaksha praman, what they can see by their own senses. This type of praman is not completely dependable because our seeing, hearing, or activities may be faulty if we are affected by illness, madness, or inattentiveness. The reliability of pratyaksha praman depends on the proficiency of the senses, among other factors. In the absence of the proficiency of the senses, one cannot gain actual knowledge of an object by means of pratyaksha praman. Right? Even dogs, they can hear sounds that human beings can't hear. Our senses are very limited. At times, there are flaws in our knowledge of objects that are seen with the eyes, heard with the ears, or gained through the faculties of our other senses. For example, when our eyes catch sight of a length of rope, we may mistake it for a serpent, and in seeing an empty oyster shell, we may mistake it for silver. Then there's inference. But in this verse that we're going through, it does accept pratyaksha, but only if it's following this svataḥ-siddha Veda, that is sat-prāptaṁ, which is rightly received in the sat-sampradāya. So yeah, we do accept pratyaksha, direct sense perception, as long as it follows āmnāya-vākya. Okay, now and then it says adi. So it accepts other forms of evidence also that are in line with this āmnāya-vākya. So anuman, inference. That which is inferred after observing a particular phenomenon is called anuman praman. For instance, by observing smoke, it is to be understood that fire is present. However, this praman is not dependable. Occasionally, smoke is sighted on a mountain even when there is no fire. Sometimes, when water is poured onto fire, smoke arises from it, even though the fire has already been extinguished. So although there is smoke, fire is no longer present. Hence, reliable knowledge of an object does not come from anuman praman. Then there's comparison, upaman, right? There's in Jaiva Dharma, there's a couple places where he mentioned how comparison can give some idea of a transcendental subject matter, just like a basic idea, but it's not complete. Like there'll be many. So yeah, upaman, that's not arthapatti, presumption. So this is just to give you an idea. If you want to um, read about these different forms of Pramāṇa, these different means for gaining knowledge, then you can check out Madhurya Kadambini, chapter 1, text 3, and you can read the commentary in my Gurudev's edition. Okay, so now let's go through the first two lines of this. I'll read the translation and then we'll look at the Sanskrit and then we'll try to memorize the next two lines. So the let me make this bigger. Okay. The self-substantiated Vedas, rightly received in the sat-sampradāya by those favored by Śrī Hari, such as Brahmājī, and referred to as āmnāya-vākya, they serve as the means of valid knowledge. They are pramāṇa. That's the means of valid knowledge, pramāṇa. Accompanied by valid cognition that is aligned with this āmnāya-vākya, beginning with direct perception. So that's this third line. That's what we're going to be going over today. Tathā pratyakṣādi-pramiti-sahitaṁ. They establish for us, sādhayati means establish for us, the ninefold objects of valid knowledge, the prameya-tattvas. That's pramiti-viṣayān tan nava-vidhān. Logic, known as reasoning, cannot enter the realm of inconceivable matters, as it is devoid of the power to do so. Okay, so let's just revise these first two lines. And so far, a couple of devotees, actually Sarveshwari Mataji sent the whole verse, and I think somebody else just posted their recitation of the first two lines. If anybody else wants to post their recitation, please do so. Yeah. The WhatsApp group is on my website. If you go to vineofdevotion.com, see the last post I made there. If you click on it, then you'll find the WhatsApp group where you can share your recitation of the. So, svataḥ-siddha vedo, hari-dayita-vedhaḥ-prabhṛtitaḥ, pramāṇaṁ sat-prāptaṁ, pramiti-viṣayān tan nava-vidhān. So the self-substantiated, the svataḥ-siddha Vedas, received by those who are hari-dayita, who are favored by Hari, like Brahma, that's Veda means Brahma, prabhṛtitaḥ and others, and so on. So sat-prāptaṁ means we're rightly received. They're rightly received in a bona fide sampradāya by those favored by Hari. They serve as pramāṇa, as the means, this is the means for valid knowledge. What is the means of valid knowledge? Āmnāya-vākya. Āmnāya-vākya is how we say it. That's the short way of saying the words of the Vedas received in a sat-sampradāya through the Guru Parampara. That's called āmnāya-vākya. So that is our pramāṇa. That's our means of valid knowledge. And this pramāṇa, this āmnāya-vākya, it reveals pramiti-viṣayān tan nava-vidhān. It reveals the objects of knowledge, the objects of valid knowledge, which is called prameya. Viṣayān means objects, pramiti means valid knowledge. So the objects of valid knowledge, which is prameya, which, and these are nava-vidhān. They are of 9 types. They are ninefold. And we already went through the ninefold prameyas, which is Hari is parama-tattva in this introduction verse. That Hari is parama-tattva, he is sarva-shakti, he is rasabdim. The jivas are like that. Those are this verse shows the 9 objects of valid knowledge, the prameyas. So those are the first 2 lines. Now let's recite that let's recite this together. We memorized this if you didn't see yesterday's video, yeah, we memorized this yesterday. So it's svataḥ-siddho vedo hari-dayita-vedhaḥ-prabhṛtitaḥ pramāṇaṁ sat-prāptaṁ pramiti-viṣayān nava-vidhān. Let's see if I can sing this in English. The self-substantiated Vedas, received by those favored by Hari, like Brahma, and so on. They serve as means for valid knowledge, pramāṇaṁ, when they are rightly received, and they reveal pramiti-viṣayān, the objects of valid knowledge, which are ninefold, nava-vidhān. Okay, so hopefully these two lines are clear. Um, Maybe let's practice saying this 3 times, looking and without looking. Svataḥ-siddho vedo hari-dayita-vedhaḥ-prabhṛtitaḥ pramāṇaṁ sat-prāptaṁ pramiti-viṣayān nava-vidhān. Actually, yeah, let's try it without looking. For those of you who've already memorized it, you can try reciting it. I'll recite it. You could recite it with me, and then I'll give you a chance to recite it on your own. So, um, svataḥ-siddho vedo hari-dayita-vedhaḥ-prabhṛtitaḥ pramāṇaṁ sat-prāptaṁ pramiti-viṣayān nava-vidhān. Okay, now I'll let you say it. If you've memorized it, then you can try saying it now. Starting 1, 2, 3, start. Okay. And so now we'll go through the next 2 lines. Oh, and I'm saying, yes, Achyuta Krishna Prabhu, the word prabrtita, it means and so on. But when you say beginning with or like or such as and so on, it all kind of means the same thing. Like when I translate, lots of times we'll translate adi or prabrtita. We'll translate it as like that. We'll either say such as, like, and so on, beginning with, headed by, those kinds of words. Okay. So tathā, actually, let's see how it is here. Now, the next lines. Let me make this bigger. Tathā means in that way. Pratyakṣādi, so pratyaksha means direct perception. I think prati means like direct, and aksha means like the senses. So direct sense perception. Adi is so on and so on. Adi and pravrtita mean the same thing. So direct perception and so on. And we went through those other different types of praman, right? There's anuman, aitihya, what are some of the other ones? Arthapati, um, upama, upaman, I think was one. Yeah. So the āmnāya-vākya is our praman, as well as pratyaksha, direct sense perception, and so on, and other forms of praman. Sahita means accompanied by, or accompanied by um, valid cognition, valid knowledge, um, coming from pratyaksha and so on, these other forms of praman. And these all, if they are in line with this āmnāya-vākya, Then they sādhayati, they establish na for us. What do they establish? What we just learned on the second line, the pramiti-viṣayān, the objects of valid knowledge, which are nava-vidhān, which are ninefold. That Hari is the parama-tattva, that he is sarva-shakti, that he is Rasab, that he's an ocean of ras, that the jivas are his separated parts, and they are either swallowed by Maya or like these nine prameyas are pramiti-viṣayān, these nine objects of valid knowledge. Sādhayati, that means establishes, not for us. Okay, so we'll memorize this line, and then the last line that says that logic, which is known as reasoning and argument, na praviśati, has no entrance into these subject matters because it is śakti-rahitā, it is void, it is devoid of power. So that's the whole verse. So now let's try to memorize this third line. Tathā, that means in that way. Pratyakṣādi, pratyaksha, and so on. Pratyaksha, adi, and so on. Pramiti-sahitaṁ, that means accompanied by valid cognition. So, or valid knowledge. So, tathā pratyakṣādi, tathā pratyakṣādi. Yeah, we'll do it like this. We'll memorize this part and then we'll memorize the last part. So, tathā pratyakṣādi, in that way, direct perception, and so on. Tathā pratyakṣādi, tathā pratyakṣādi, tathā pratyakṣādi. You try saying it. Tathā pratyakṣādi. Pramiti-sahitam. Pramiti means valid knowledge, sahitam, accompanied by. This all goes together. This valid knowledge, accompanied by valid knowledge, gained by pratyaksha, by direct sense perception, and so on. What is it accompanying? It's accompanying that valid knowledge, which is accompanying āmnāya-vākya, these words of the Vedas received through the Guru Parampara. So when pratyaksha and other forms of valid knowledge, accompanied by valid knowledge, which are following this āmnāya-vākya in the form of pratyaksha and other forms of pramāṇa. So tathā pratyakṣādi pramiti-sahitam, tathā pratyakṣādi pramiti-sahitam, tathā pratyakṣādi pramiti-sahitam. You try saying that. Tathā pratyakṣādi pramiti-sahitam. Let's try saying this now without looking. So remember, tathā, in that way, pratyakṣādi pramiti-sahitam. So in that way, accompanied by valid cognition, beginning with direct perception. That's what this means. Actually, we'll recite it 3 times and then try it without looking. Tathā pratyakṣādi pramiti-sahitam. Tathā pratyakṣādi pramiti-sahitam. One last time. Tathā pratyakṣādi pramiti-sahitam. Okay, now without looking. Tathā pratyakṣādi pramiti-sahitam. Tathā pratyakṣādi pramiti-sahitam. One last time with me, and then you can try saying it on your own. Tathā pratyakṣādi pramiti-sahitaṁ. Okay, now you try saying it. Tathā pratyakṣādi-pramiti-sahitaṁ. Okay, and now sādhayati na. Sādhayati means establishes, na for us. It establishes for us. Sādhayati na. Sādhayati na. Sādhayati. It establishes, na for us. Sādhayati na. It establishes for us. Sādhayati na. Sādhayati na. Sādhayati na. Sādhayati. It establishes na for us. Sādhayati na. Now let's try saying that without looking. Sādhayati na. Sādhayati na. Sādhayati na. Sādhayati na. You try saying it. Sādhayati na. Tathā pratyakṣādi-pramiti-sahitaṁ sādhayati na. Tathā pratyakṣādi-pramiti-sahitaṁ sādhayati na. Tathā pratyakṣādi-pramiti-sahitaṁ sādhayati na. Accompanied by valid means of cognition, like direct perception, which establishes the nine truths for us. Okay, so tathā pratyakṣādi-pramiti-sahitaṁ sādhayati na. Now you say it while looking, and then we'll say it without looking. You can say it on your own. Okay, so now we'll do it without looking. Tathā pratyakṣādi-pramiti-sahitaṁ sādhayati na. Tathā pratyakṣādi-pramiti-sahitaṁ sādhayati na. Okay, one more time with me, and then you try saying it on your own. Tathā pratyakṣādi-pramiti-sahitaṁ sādhayati na. Okay, now you try saying it. Okay, now we'll do the last line. Oh, actually, let's try it one more time. Tathā pratyakṣādi-pramiti-sahitaṁ sādhayati na. Okay. Now the last line. The last line's easy. Now yuktis tarkākhyā. So yukti, um, I was always thinking it means reasoning, but my friend said that it means logic. Anyways, I think it means both actually. Let's look up the word yukti. Yukti, yukti. I'm doing this is the Bengali dictionary, but oops, short I. Let's see. The Bengali dictionary, yukti is translated as argument, reasoning, reason. Huh. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with reasoning. So, reasoning, known, and akya means known as, tarka, and tarka means logic and argument. Na praviśati. It has no entrance. Praviśati cannot enter. Tathā means in that way. Why? Because it is śakti-rahitā. It is rahita. It is devoid of shakti, of any power. It has no, the material brain has no power to conceive of inconceivable subject matters. So it's shakti-rahita. It's devoid of power to, what is it devoid of power to do? To enter, praviśati. So it cannot enter, na praviśati, the realm of inconceivable subject matters, because it is shakti-rahita. Okay, so na yuktis tarkākhyā. So not reasoning known as tarka. Tarka means logic and argument. So reasoning known as tarka, logic and argument. Na praviśati has no entrance into the realm of inconceivable subject matters. It doesn't say in the realm of inconceivable subject matters, but that's what it's referring to. It's referring to this these 9 topics, these 9 prameyas. So um, yeah, because it is shakti-rahita, it is devoid of power. Okay, let's go through. Let's recite this these first few words a few times. Na yuktis tarkākhyā. Not reasoning known as tarka. Na yuktis tarkākhyā. Na yuktis tarkākhyā. Na yuktis tarkākhyā. Akya means known as, tarka, tarkākhyā, tarka known as, basically. So na yukti tarkākhyā. So reasoning known as logic and argument. Na yuktis tarkākhyā. Na yuktis tarkākhyā. You say it once, you're on your own. Na yuktis tarkākhyā. Na yuktis tarkākhyā. Let's do it without looking. Na yuktis tarkākhyā. Na yuktis tarkākhyā. Na yuktis tarkākhyā. You say it? Na yuktis tarkākhyā. Praviśati tathā. Praviśati tathā. Praviśati tathā. So praviśati means enter. And this word praviśati goes together with this word na at the beginning of the sentence. So na praviśati, it cannot enter. And tathā means in that way. Praviśati tathā. Śakti-rahitā. Shakti means power. Rahita means devoid of. Devoid of power. Śakti-rahitā, devoid of power. So praviśati tathā. Śakti-rahitā. Praviśati tathā. Śakti-rahitā. Praviśati tathā. Śakti-rahitā. Praviśati tathā. Śakti-rahitā. It cannot enter because it's devoid of power. Praviśati tathā. Śakti-rahitā. Praviśati tathā. Śakti-rahitā. You say it on your own now. Praviśati tathā. Śakti-rahitā. Praviśati tathā. Śakti-rahitā. Let's recite it now without looking. Praviśati tathā. Śakti-rahitā. śakti-rahitā. It cannot enter because it is devoid of power. Praviśati tathā śakti-rahitā. Praviśati tathā śakti-rahitā. You try saying it now? Praviśati tathā śakti-rahitā. Okay, now let's look at the whole line. Na yuktis tarkākhyā. Reasoning known as tarka, logic and reasoning. Na praviśati tathā, it cannot enter in that way. Śakti-rahitā, for it is devoid of power to do so. Na yuktis tarkākhyā. Praviśati tathā śakti-rahitā. 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 Now you try saying it on your own, this whole line. Na yuktis tarkākhyā. Praviśati tathā śakti-rahitā. Okay, we'll say it 3 times together, and then you'll say it on your own. Na yuktis tarkākhyā. Praviśati tathā śakti-rahitā. Na yuktis tarkākhyā. Praviśati tathā śakti-rahitā. Na yuktis tarkākhyā. Praviśati tathā śakti-rahitā. Now you try saying it. Na yuktis tarkākhyā. Praviśati tathā śakti-rahitā. Okay, so that is the full verse. We've completed the full verse. Whenever you, if you get a chance, if you'd like to send once you've memorized the verse, if you'd like to send your voice recording in our WhatsApp group, here, I'll just show you on my website. Here, let me put this on the screen here. So go to vineofdevotion.com. Oops. Vineofdevotion.com. See this last post that I wrote here. Join us for Daśa-mūla Verse memorization. Click on that. Scroll down until you see this list here. Here's how the sessions will work. Then on the last item in this list, you'll see it says you can share recitations in a dedicated WhatsApp group. So just click on this link right here where it says a dedicated WhatsApp group. And then you'll be added into our WhatsApp group where you can share your recitation of this verse. All right, let's just one last time. We'll just go look at this verse and then we'll end. So, svataḥ-siddho vedo hari-dayita-vedhaḥ. One thing with Sanskrit, in Sanskrit, all the words have all this grammatical information within it. And like all this, and so like within the very word itself, it has all these tenses, all these, it has so much information packed in to each word, grammatical information. So the word order doesn't actually matter so much in Sanskrit. You could jumble up the words and the meaning is still clear because each word has all this grammatical information attached to it. Whereas in English, the word order is everything. If you jumble up the words in a sentence, then it will have a completely different meaning because each word is just separate without all this grammatical information attached to it. I'm not sure if that makes sense. So that's why with these verses, sometimes it's difficult because to explain it because I'm jumping all over the place. I'm like, it's not just in a simple like line by line word order. You have to like for example, this is how I've been explaining it. The svataḥ-siddha Veda, so the self-substantiated Vedas that are sat-prāptaṁ, so you have to jump to the next line, which are rightly received by hari-dayita-vedhaḥ-prabhṛtitaḥ, by those favored by Hari, like Brahma and so on. They um, they sādhayati, now I have to jump to the third line, sādhayati na. They establish for us the pramāṇa, the means of, sorry, no. This is pramāṇa, the means of knowledge, the means of gaining knowledge. And it establishes for us, sādhayati na, it establishes for us pramiti-viṣayān, the objects of valid knowledge, which are nava-vidhān, which are of 9 types, which are ninefold. As well as, and also, tathā, along with, no, accompanied by, sahita means accompanied by pratyakṣādi-pramiti, valid forms of knowledge gained by pratyaksha, direct sense perception, and so on. Now, yuktis tarkākhyā praviśati tathā śakti-rahitā. Reasoning, known as tarka, known as logic and arguments, na praviśati, cannot enter into this realm of establishing these 9 subject matters. Tathā śakti-rahitā. Why? Because it is śakti-rahitā, it is devoid of power to do so. So see, it's like I can't just explain it line by line. I have to kind of jump all over the place to explain it. That's why lots of times you'll see in different Bengali, like, have you ever seen there's something called Anvaya? Anvaya rearranges all the Sanskrit words in a verse according to the natural word order that you would see it in your language. And so if you look in, like in the Bengali Chaitanya Charitamrita of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, or also Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam. He rearranges all the Sanskrit words to make it in a natural word order so that you can easily get the meaning. Yeah. All right. That's our program for today. Sorry, I went on a bit late today. Well, the reason I'm late is because my mic wasn't working, but I'll end here. All right. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. So, just one last thing. Whenever you're going through a Sanskrit verse, the way to start to understand it, once you start learning Sanskrit, I mean, I don't know anything. I'm like not even on a beginner level of Sanskrit. I'm like pre-beginner. But when you're looking at a verse, first thing to do is look for the subject. And then you have to find the object. Because it's not just like in English, the subject is always the first word, and then there's a verb, and then there's an object at the end. But in Sanskrit, the subject will be at any random place in the verse, and the object will be at any random place. So then you first identify the subject, then you find the object, and that can be, and you can tell what the subject is just by the grammatical construction, you know? You can tell what the subject is by, you know, usually like a subject will have a M with a dot over it, you know. Anyways, like that. Um, and then you find like you just have to identify the different those different parts, and then you can be able to understand a verse. That's like the system for doing it generally. But yeah. Actually, my something I would love to do in the future is do I love studying online like this. Like I'm learning this verse with all of you, and I'd love to do the same thing for Harinama Mritya Vyakaranam. I did some classes with Param Sundar Prabhu, and but I really need to go over it again. I didn't really capture everything, or just some kind of basic Sanskrit class, um, like that, where we can understand the different types of nouns, like the different forms of vibhaktis. Yeah. Anyhow, I'm talking too much. We'll end here. Jai Shatan Gaur Hari ki Jai Shishi Radha Vinod Hari Ju ki Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ju ki Jai Jai Shri Gurudev ki Jai Jai Shri Param Gurudev ki Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai Shri Rupa Nuvakoriya Guru Pargat ki Jai Sapa Shachi Gaur Nityananda Prabhu ki Jai Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopigan ki Jai Shri Giriraj Maharaj ki Jai Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki Jai श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जाय जय श्री सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय श्री दशमूल शिक्षा की जय जय श्री सच्चिदानंद गौर हरि की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. Dandavat pranams. Dandavat pranams. Who's all there? Let me just see really quickly. Anadi Krishna Prabhu. Oops. Oops, I messed up the view. Sorry. Okay. Anadi Krishna Prabhu, Sarveshwari Mataji, Gokuleshwari Didi, Shri Devi Didi, Nitai Mukeshji, Nri Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji. And who else? On YouTube and Facebook, Pradyumna Prabhu, Mantramurti Mataji, Ganga Mataji, Premavati Didi, Hari Priya Didi, Vidyalalasa Didi, Champak Mataji, Puleshwari Didi, and everybody else. Cool. Vidyalalasa Didi says it's really fun and helpful. Great. I'm always worried that because I'm so unorganized and I'm like, I don't know, I always feel like I'm wasting everybody's time, but yeah. All right. Thank you. Okay, Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranams. See you all tomorrow. See, see you there. All right, Haribol. See you all tomorrow. Jai Shri